Hi, I'm joined by Amanda from PvP Academica, Lundberger, and we're going to run through rounds 3 to 7 of my showdown run in the Commander Cup. Amanda, how you doing?
Doing well. I'm doing better tonight than I did in the Commander Cup of the Showdown, at least.
It's a tough school. It's a tough school.
Yeah.
And the reason we're starting from round 3 is because rounds 1 and 2 I got 3-0'd both times. And it's not that I'm particularly against sharing my losses. It's just that they were just so poor that I'm not really sure there's much to take from them. So it'd just be me showing myself getting battered for the sake of it. And
Yeah, but people love that. Maybe on second thought, maybe we should be showing us.
Maybe I might leave a link to it in the description, but I don't think we need to sit here for 25 minutes and talk. I certainly don't feel the need to. Yeah. So Amanda and I were talking throughout the showdown because it was your first one, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, it was my first showdown, and like I said, I didn't do very well in it, but I was only 3-0 once, which was also good. So I felt like I definitely played competitively well. But yeah, I mean, sometimes the matches go your way, and sometimes they don't, and it was really, yeah. The Commander Cup is not my strongest cup, so I'm really looking forward to seeing your battles and seeing how you handled things versus how I probably would have.
Well, it's a weird one because I feel like I really like my team. We'll talk about it briefly. It's set up like I vastly underestimated how many 11 Ninetales there would be.
Yeah. I mean, that's I think in the 2 shield it was a lot of the things that the A9 could take down almost any team. So.
Yeah. And on my team, it beats everything in the 2s apart from Empoleon.
Yeah.
Muck beats it in the 0s and the 1s, but in the 2s, I can take a shield advantage, but I've done nothing in terms of the Snarls don't do any damage. So I've been relying a lot on an Alolan Raichu safe switch to try and power my way through A9s.
What are you doing with the Alolan Raichu? Are you doing Thunder Punch and Wild Charge, or are you doing Action?
Yeah, I'm pure electric on the Achu. I just when it first dropped this cup, I was running Psychic on it, just because I thought it'd be cool for the Venusaurs and the Roserades and the Cradillies. But as the month went on, as the start of the tournaments came around, it was seeming like there was going to be less grass types than I was initially thinking. So I switched to full electric.
I put in regular Raichu, not Alolan Raichu, to my team for the showdown because I recognized that the 5 of the 6 on my team was weak to Empoleon. So while I didn't know how frequent I would see that commander, I realized that was kind of a problem. But I mean, maybe it's not the smartest move to put a new thing on your roster. Not really try it out when playing against the world's best.
Yeah, it's worth a go, innit? I was surprised that there weren't more Empoleon, to be honest. I mean, it was all Munchlax and Escavalier, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I mean, to be fair, Empoleon and I guess Escavalier, they're really good against the A9s. So with all those running around, I really think the Empoleon is a good strategy.
Yeah, well, and really, the birth of the kelp monster, the big kelp monster in the room, Dragalge. The reason I'm running that is because it pairs so well with Empoleon.
I remember we were talking about it earlier. I'm like, what the heck is a Dragalge?
Jarundra. I played Jarundra in round 6, and the message went. He said, "Hi, what the hell's the Dragalge doing there?"
Okay, good. Yeah, we're on the same boat then.
Yeah. But it pairs really well with Empoleon.
Yeah, that's true. You have a dragon counter sort of, and then also a dragon on your own. So.
Yeah, and it beats up the electric types. It beats up the grass types. It actually beats Toxic Rogue or Even Shield, straight Aqua Tail.
Interesting.
Dragon Tail, Aqua Tail, Outrage. It beats Alolan Muck as well, comfortably. Hypno really struggles because it's quite bulky. It's the bulkiest thing on my team by some distance, I believe, Dragalge. Dragalge. Um,
Yeah, I'm noticing when I'm looking at your team too that you have no Hypno, which is pretty interesting because it is a really strong pick for this cup. I mean, I feel like a lot of people built teams just to counter the Hypnos that would be running around.
yeah, well, I mean, I sort of have. I started off with the sort of RPS of Hypno, Toxicroak, Amok, and then I tried to pick a pick that, and then I sort of split those into 3 cores of 2, and then tried to pick 3 things that beat each pair.
Okay.
And then I ran Hypno over Frostlass in London's Finest, and I just hated running Hypno. So I just quite naively just swapped it out for Frostlass as a Toxic counter, and then what I didn't then realise is how weak that made me to Lantern. So there's so I've not been enjoying all the Lantern I've been knocking about, but I sort of lean on Alolan Raichu a lot, really. It can deal with Lantern, and it takes a shield off most things. So
no one wants to eat a wild charge to the face. So
no.
I mean, there are a few, I guess, on the Tufch's team that could, and by a few, I guess I really mean one. The Munchlax can tank a wild charge.
Yeah.
But I guess nothing else really wants to take one.
Yeah. Well, coming on to round 3, I was up against Tuft. How am I saying that one?
Tufcha.
Tufcha, right? Okay, I'll let you stick with the pronunciation on that one. So this scared the living all sorts out of me because whenever you see Claydol, you expect mud slap in this.
Right.
I only have
strong against
so I kind of was resigned to bringing Frostlass every game. I like the look of a Alolan Muck, so I imagine that comes a lot. And any team that has Lantern, like when it's so obvious that I have to bring Frostlass, or it feels quite obvious to me that I have to bring Frostlass, kind of invites the Lantern in, and so in those instances I always like Dragalge as well. So let's have a look and see how it goes.
All right.
Watching the battles at 1.25 times speed, just because that's what I like. Let's have a go. So Dragalge in the lead, Muck safe swap, and Frostlass in the back.
Are you saving shields for the Frostlass? Is that the overall plan, or?
Do you know what? I can't remember. I've not watched him back since then, but I was fairly happy with this because I think Muck with a 1 Snarl lead wins the 1s, I think, or something like that. So.
And I mean, Muck is a pretty good safe swap overall because if it gets a Snarl or 2, it can at least do damage to almost everything. And when he's not running a Toxicroak, that's at least it's gonna hit the Dark Pulse.
Yeah, so he gets unlucky there and gets a CMP tie, so I've taken both shields.
Yes, I'm in, but that's the way. Now I assume you're going to. He undercharges.
Yeah, and I think that comes in big if I remember right. So I'm just letting the clock down, and then Frostlass is going to be coming in.
Yeah, this is big though. I mean, because you've been able to charge up a little bit extra, and I assume that's nice, good job. I didn't know if you would even think about just keep charging until he threw a move and shielded up, but.
I probably thought about it, but at that point in time, I thought Dragalge with 2 shields is probably nice when you could have Lantern anyway. But I don't mind the Munchlax matchup.
I always I have a Munchlax that was my commander, and in my head it was better against Frostlass than it actually is because you still need to shield since the charge moves don't do a lot of damage. 2 avalanches will take you out.
Yeah, and here we see Dragalge in its prime, just walls the Lantern for days.
That's the thing about Lantern. It only has nuke moves, so it takes a while to get to them, and easily shielding up, you can just probably farm this thing down almost.
Yeah, and I let this one through because I want to save the shield for the bulldoze. I don't think it'll come to that because I'll just be able to outrage him, but just in case something went drastically wrong.
Right. So that was a really good call on your side, recognizing that most likely has a Lantern in the back to counter that Frostlass, and then bye-bye.
Yeah, so that went quite well, really. I was happy enough with that. So game 2.
So what's your thoughts for round 2 then?
Well, looks like I go Frostlass Empoleon Muck without the counter user. Quite happy with the double counter weakness in the back, and this is a bit of a pain of a matchup really, because I feel like I want to save this for Claydol.
Yeah, like you said before, when you recognize that Frostlass is definitely the hardest counter to it. Yeah. So okay, let's see.
And that's
This
a
is
straight.
also... Ooh.
Yeah,
But this
that's
is rough.
Sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say this is rough. It's a because even though you're able to get to these moves, he didn't swap really quickly. Lantern is such a hard counter to the Empoleon.
Yeah, although it lets me get the second Hydro Cannon off, so it sort of chips a little bit. But obviously, he's got a lot of energy at this point. Oh, yeah, I'm just not having any of that, not letting it farm anymore. Oh, I remember what happens this game.
On his part.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much he's got, so I'm hoping I think I'm resigned to him getting a charge move off. And I think I let it through. Yeah, I'm going all in with Lantern with Frostlass at this point.
I see. Okay. That's really risky.
Now right here, if I'm right, I switched to Frostlass, predicted him to come in with Munchlax and try and catch me with the Body Slam.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Well
and then
done.
he bulldozes.
Oh no! Okay. Big braining, but at the same point.
I was so upset, honestly. I was so happy. I was so pleased with myself at that point.
I would have thought the same though, because I feel like a Body Slam would have taken it out at that point anyway. But my man, Tufta really.
Yeah.
Reading it well. Okay.
Yeah. So then that's more or less the game, really.
Yeah, a double shield. I mean, even though this is a good thing to have against the Gengar, just not enough health to really make the difference.
Yeah, even as fully loaded with energy as I am, just the Shadow Claw is gonna be the Shadow Punch. Sorry, is gonna be enough. But yeah, I mean, I was close. Like,
yeah, sure, you're just a Snarl or two away from another Dark Pulse. We had to do something.
Yeah. So I'm still pleased with how that game went. Thought it was good. I dropped Frostlass.
Wow. Okay. You decided it was too easy before, and you just wanted to make it a little more difficult for yourself.
Well, I just was perhaps, he must have been, it's going to be targeting down the Frostlass at this point, I think. So, but this is good because I can win zeros, so I can take a shield.
Yeah, it's super effective, but you're obviously, even though Waterfall takes a while to get to, you're going to hit your charge moves first.
Yeah.
And now it's up to him to see what he wants to do.
Yeah.
And this is also good too, because you're getting it out of the way, because that's the only thing that the Toxicroak really fears. I mean, he actually has a pretty decent counters. 2 Toxicroaks counter, but...
Yeah.
But
I'm feeling like he's going to bring Gengar again, and I know with a shield advantage, I can deal with that because of Mud Bomb.
All right.
So yeah, I go in for the farm.
Nice. It's very aggressive, but looks like it's going to pay off for you.
I like a game 3 Toxicroak. Once I've sort of maybe convinced my opponent I'm not going to run it.
Yeah, nice, and you got enough counter advantage here that he's going to have to shield if he wants to keep that Gengar alive, although maybe he'll just sacrifice it at this point, seeing the Alolan Muck. No. Okay.
He does some good farming there as well.
That was, not to say a mistake, I suppose, but I mean, if I was him, I would have saw the Alolan Muck and that, the Haunter really didn't have much play, and that he maybe needed to go all in on the Lantern. But I mean, hindsight, it's always hard to tell, in the heat of the game, especially when he was charging up how much energy that he had on the Haunter or the Gengar.
Yeah. Tough call, I think. So now I went for Sludge Wave because I didn't think 2 Dark Pulses would kill it, and I wasn't sure if a Sludge Wave and a Dark Pulse would. So I went for Sludge Wave first, so I could judge whether I needed to go for the Sludge Wave. but I'm quite content to go for the Dark Pulse at that range. And apparently this was CMP.
Oh, really? He was. Oh, okay.
So it ended up being.
Wow. So really down to the wire then.
Yeah, and a lot of these games are like that. Like there's a lot of close games. Like game one.
Yeah,
Was
I mean,
close.
honestly, yeah, it was the same for me. Like there would be win one, lose one, and then the last game would always be down to you can't be mad if you win or lose by something that's so close like that.
No. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you can be mad.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can be mad, but you must be. Specifically if you lose like that, like you're playing well. Like all things considered, that lead was.
Yeah. If it really comes down to CMP, then then you've done something at least semi right.
And in the context of that game, like that was a really good lead for me. And having sort of lost the lead on as he did, like to bring it that close, is always pretty impressive.
Yes. Yeah, Torch is actually like he's a mad lad. I swear, like he's doing so many tournaments a month, and it's really paid off because I think he's just getting better and better. So I have no doubt that this was also his first showdown, and I'm sure if Silph continues to do them, that we'll probably see him again.
Oh, cool. I remember I spoke to him briefly before Continentals. Continentals Open Qualifier, because he used my Quillfish team. So
Nice.
the name rang a bell. So yeah, it's good to see him doing well. So was quite relieved to beat the Claydol team, and then
especially after going 3-0 or getting 3-0 twice. This is getting your confidence back up a little bit, I imagine.
Yeah, I'm pleased enough that I managed to avoid tilting myself actually, but yeah, that's another thing. But yeah, so it was pleased to beat the Claydol, and then Nezabethan pops up with the Claydol.
This is my UK nemesis.
Yes, yeah. I don't know whether you want to explain that one.
No, we just say I think we have really, really similar play styles, and we've been matched up a lot of times in different cups, and it's always very close battles between the two of us. So I'm excited to see how you guys will do.
Fair. Well,
he was the only person who 3-0'd me in the showdown. So.
Damn him! This was the first time we'd ever played.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah, and he's got the Claydol and the Ninetales, so I was a little bit like I went into this with zero expectations, because as I said, like I've been relying on the Raichu swap to try and get me through against Ninetales teams, but I can't really do that versus Claydol teams.
Yeah.
So I imagine we'll see a lot of Empoleon again, and then Raichu to deal with the Escavalier and Lanturns, and then try and go from there. Really, that's sort of the game plan. So in the first one, I lead. And another thing to note here, so like in this first game, I'm going to run Raichu and Empoleon Muck, and I don't mind Muck versus Escavalier if I'm say swapping the Muck, because Muck wins twos.
I mean, that's the thing about Escavalier. You want it to be stronger than it is, but it really is such a little frail boy. Because I was testing it earlier before the showdown, but really, like, 2 Dark Pulses, I'm like, that shouldn't be able to take it out.
because Escavalier is really quite squishy, isn't it? And it doesn't resist them like Toxicroak does. So, let's see how it goes. So I'm happy. I'm happy enough.
Nice, yeah.
So it means Empoleon's not versus it.
So an immediate swap out to the Frostlass on his part. This is the best answer on your team for the Frostlass.
But I kind of knew immediately that it was a mistake, because I'm thinking he's doing that to lure out the Empoleon, and he's probably got Ninetales in the bag.
Yes, yeah. But at the same point, that's a really good game plan on his part, because Lantern also does really good against Empoleon. So even if it beats his Frostlass, the Lantern's just going to be able to farm you down with the Sparks.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and it's not like I've got any great answers to Lantern. Like Raichu beats it, but not if I'm at an energy disadvantage.
Smart on him too. You weren't even able to get to the Hydro Cannons.
Yeah. I shield this. I think my only chance here is likely to take a shield off the Ninetales with Raichu, so I need to keep him alive. Hoping this kills. And nothing likes a wild charge, but I'm expecting him to let it through and just double shield his A9. So yeah, there we go. Yeah, I know it was one of those really frustrating moments. Like the second I went into Empoleon into Frostlass, I was like,
Yeah, you're already seeing it in your head. Mistake.
yeah,
But really, it's hard either way because Frostlass with an energy advantage, he did the same thing to me. You can't swap your muck into that either,
no,
unless you're really just sacrificing your muck.
no, yeah. I mean, it's true. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, and I mean, I could have taken the shield off it, and but yeah, then I'm still lining up Empoleon with Lantern, aren't I? So yeah, it was
It's just really, I mean, smart team composition on his side here.
yeah.
I think this wild charge will take it out.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking I was in with the shot here. I was thinking this kills, but it doesn't quite.
Yeah. Ooh. So it was still really cool. I mean, like he's got 2 left, but I mean that neither one would take a volt switch very well anymore. So.
Yeah.
So how are you adapting?
Let's have a look. I played the same. No, I put Frostlass in. Put Frostlass in for Mork. Happy to stick with the Raichu lead. I think because I can protect.
Sometimes I found, yeah, especially with the Commander Cup, that sometimes if you lose the lead, it's even better because you get that swap and then you get that energy advantage.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, so he tries to catch the charge move, and that was big because I sort of held off a little bit.
Being a greedy little boy and farming up as much as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. No need to bait as well because I've got so much of an energy advantage, which is nice. Andrew goes for the bait, and I mean, he sort of has to really. I feel.
Yeah.
And this is good because if I do end up, I'm burning shields. Although so he's kept the shield, so he can beat Empoleon in ones with Claydol maybe. Perhaps recognizing that he wasn't going to win switch back anyway at that point.
Oh, this is dangerous.
Yeah, that was an interesting one.
Let's see what I say. Lantern or the Ninetales? I guess that's the only. Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Wow, okay. I did not see that coming.
Yeah, but now I can go to Raichu fairly comfortably at this point.
Yeah. And look at that. It's not very effective, but now it's still only at like 50% health. So.
Yeah.
I mean, like we said, a Scavalier. He's really great when shields are up, but when the shields are down, I mean, that thing just goes down too quick.
Yeah, so one shield specialist really, I find. Like zeros, the lack of stab often leaves you wanting twos. You can often get farmed down, but ones is nice. So yeah, just go for the wild charge, just as much damage as possible.
Nice. You still have a shield, so you know you can block this earth power.
Yeah. I tried doing the thing where you immediately swap, and I don't really know why, but yeah.
Just to be fancy.
That's it.
Nice.
So down to the decider. Frostlass Raichu Muck this time.
So yeah, you have a team of 3 that you're finding works pretty well against this. So this is not the place that you want to see the Frostlass. So an immediate swap out to Muck. This is fairly neutral. So I mean, obviously, if he lands a Hydro Pump, that's the worst. But that seems a bit too soon.
Yeah, and he's staying in with Lantern, which I think's interesting. Maybe he's expecting me to have Empoleon at this point, and so he knows he doesn't need an energy lead to beat that. He can give up a bit of a lead to beat that. So yeah, I thought that was a good swap on his part as well, knowing he could charm me down before taking the next charge move.
This is So now you're looking and but this is okay.
I think I let this through because I want to get this out of the way, and then I'm going all in with Raichu. At the end of this to try and take on the Lantern and just praying that he's not got Claydol in the back. It was my win-con at that point.
Oh wow, okay, that was also a big thing for him letting that through. I think if he would have shielded that up, it might have really changed almost everything there because he would have been able to charm you down.
Yeah, for sure. And I've got 2 shields.
Yeah, 2 shields. It's quite comfortable. These sparks are doing nothing.
Yeah, and I'm not risking. I'm not going for dates. I'm just I'm wanting to make sure I land a wild charge.
Wow, nice. Yeah, and obviously he doesn't expect it because with the energy drop, but
Yeah.
it does. And
Now I've got 2 wild charges banked because of the extra farm, so I can
yeah,
definitely land one again.
oh, this stupid Raichu! I'm so angry just looking at it. This is gonna be enough to.
I went for a sneaky vault with Shinad.
Yeah.
I thought I'll get it through.
I'm almost angry watching that.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, very well played. Nice job.
Yeah, I was very happy. I'll see if I can edit the audio clip in of my response to that.
Fucking get in, lad.
Victory, in post. So that's something to look out for. But yeah, I was absolutely buzzing for that. Yeah.
That was good. Well played, friend.
Yeah, just
now you're on a bit of a hot streak. Two games in a row.
Yeah, I was happy about that. And then in the next round, I'll play against Fulcrum, and I look at that team, and that's the kind of team where I really like seeing, because as much as it's a Lowland Raichu food. I look at that and I think, what have you got for a Lowland Raichu? And yeah, you've got Munchlax, but that ain't going to enjoy taking wild charges. I don't mind Munchlax being up against a Lowland Raichu, because it means then it's not up against something like Trigalgi or Frostlass or
Right.
like that. Yeah, so I went into this one quite confident, to be honest.
Nice, and you're bringing in the Empoleon as well, which is, I mean, fairly decent against most of his team. But when it's the things that it's countered quite hard.
Yeah, I mean, I quite like it as a lead because if you lose it, if you can save swap something and then come back in with Empoleon and get a couple of...
Oh yeah, I mean, I find that people who have Empoleons are really good at that, like having a good save swap that they know that even if they lose it, that the Empoleon will come back in and take care of. And then Empoleon with energy even threatens a lot of its counters, like Toxicroak. I mean, the Toxicroak can't handle a Drill Peck.
Yeah, and the Ampharos isn't going to appreciate the
Hydro Cannon.
Yeah, it isn't going to appreciate the Hydro Cannons. So game 1, Empoleon, Dragalge, and a Lowland Raichu, which is nice because I've got... Well, it's the classic sort of save swap, counter swap, isn't it? Because if they do lead Toxie or Lantern, I've got 2 things that I'm happy to switch into. And if they counter to Munchlax into my Lowland Raichu, that's fine, because then it means Trigalge's not there later. This line of 3 is my favourite line of the cup. Empoleon, Trigalge, Lowland Raichu.
See it in action.
Let's give it a go. So horrendous lead.
So this is the immediate swap to the Lowland Raichu to gain some energy.
Yeah.
And Fulcrum is staying in, so he's gonna get the shields off of you as well.
Yeah. And this matchup is why I prefer the Alolan Raichu, because the standard Raichu Toxicroak will counter down in the 2s, whereas it can't do that to the Alolan version, so the counter resistance.
How are the IVs on your Lowland Raichu? Because I have one, but it's not good enough. So I was like, it's better to have good IVs, but maybe that's not even true.
It's pretty good. I think it's like rank 150-ish or something. Actually, my round 7 opponent actually traded at me a few weeks ago, as it happened.
So you have double shielded this now, because I don't know, was it the plan to try to fire it off before they reached the Thunder?
Yeah, that was the plan. I go to the Dragalge because I know the energy on Raichu is going to be really handy for whatever I'm in later against, and even if they come in with a counter to this, like they're going to have to tank an Outrage.
That farm down was very nice. So yeah.
So I mean, most people don't know much about Dragalge, so
Yeah, I would have no idea what these moves are.
but as you can see, yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, and then up to the Aqua Tail as well, which is just lovely.
I think that's probably your biggest advantage with the Dragalge is like, yeah, people aren't sure what the moves are gonna be, so
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, a lot of people have shielded moves that I just think, oh, I'd probably have lost if you didn't shield that. But
yeah, it's like, oh, better safe than sorry. Crap, an Aqua Tail, seriously?
So yeah, that game one went well. Game two, I'm leading the Raichu with Empoleon and Toxie in the back. So I quite like this lead.
Yeah, definitely it's whenever the Hypno's in there and not matched up with the Toxie, I always consider it a win.
Yeah, and I go to 5, so I'm throwing at the same time that they've got the Shadow Ball, so I'm not playing any games with things being squeaked through. I'll probably shield this and go for the farm down. Because people never shield the Hypno. People never shield the Hypno. That's
because also the Hypno is very bulky, so
yeah. So it's like, yeah, I'll do 55% to you and then farm me down. That's quite happy. And then I'll throw 2 more wild charges at the next thing.
This was smart, recognizing that you were going to farm him down. He switched out to the Frostlass.
Yeah.
But this is dangerous because the Hypno does have a little bit of energy left, so
it does.
Toxic even full health is not something that wants to see that.
No, certainly not. But I've got a lot of energy on Raichu, I think. So I'm bringing Toxie here. I know I'm at an energy and shield disadvantage, but I can probably get 1 shield back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no way I'm shielding that. Called the switch.
Oh, yeah.
And then
so at least you know that he threw the Mud Bomb, so the Toxicroak's energy dry. So now you just have to continue your plan.
Yeah. Farm down. And then... So this is probably a mistake. I probably should just go for the wild charges, make sure I get the shields or kill it, and then come in and Mud Bomb.
Yeah. But it's so hard to, because you had the energy, obviously, to throw 2 punches.
Yeah. And then I think I get CMP'd. Yeah.
So, that's rough, because the bomb definitely would have taken it out at that point. But
yeah, and had I gone for wild charges, he'd have had less counters to take me down. Yeah, so mistake there.
Yeah, maybe at least 1 wild charge, because I don't know if you would have had the energy for 2 before you got taken out.
Yeah,
and you needed to get rid of those shields. But yeah, okay, so these are exciting. This is also okay. We recognize that it's Fire Punch, so he has to go straight for the Shadow Ball.
Yeah. Now, my natural instinct was to go into Raichu, but this was a bit of a mistake because I was fearing the Lantern in the back now with Empoleon and Frostlass left. So I remember.
Plus the shields now, because Raichu is really good with storing all that energy, but it also is pretty frail, so it needs the shields.
Yeah, I might go for the farm down here. Yeah, I think I go for the farm down here, knowing that I need to save the energy now, because Rowan is gonna throw in. I need to be able to get the shields back. And this is why Raichu is so good, because what's taking 2 wild charges? Hypno never
Again, with no shield on the Hypno. Oh man, yeah.
Yeah.
This is when Empoleon too strong. Frostlass is normally a great answer in this cut, but Empoleon just does work.
Yeah.
Although without any shields left, the Shadow Ball will probably be able to take it out.
Yeah, I mean, you
got to it first.
Yeah, he was massively overcharging, over farming.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it was a long way back for him still, but I mean, maybe he could have got back into it, maybe. Yeah, I was just really pleased he didn't have Lantern in the back. That could have gone wrong for me. And then Raichu just in with the Thunder Punch.
And it's good games there.
Yeah.
So I don't even think you saw your third in the third, right?
No, I don't think so. So yeah, was happy with that, and then was pleased with that, and then Jarunja in round 6.
Oh yeah, Jerinja is he's on the U.S. Gym Breakers Worlds team, so he's considered one of the top players in the U.S.
Fair. Yeah, I'd heard his name before. I think he was on the Factions All Star thing in.
Oh yeah. And he was I believe he was one that was shoutcasted on the official stream. So
Yes.
it's most likely that this round was also being broadcasted.
It was. I watched that because I made some questionable plays.
Did you know that it was also being broadcasted while you played him?
I did. Yeah, I did. I made a couple of questionable plays, and I stand by them completely, 100%. And I'm glad I get to sort of explain myself a little bit for the small percentage of people that watch the stream that will see this. They'll understand a bit, but yeah. And again, quite happy to say Silph Raichu here. Empoleon. See, with him having the Raichu and the Toxicroak, that's two things the Empoleon's going to struggle with, and that makes me a little hesitant. But I feel like I have to bring it as well because of the Ninetales.
Alright.
And
this team looks a lot like the team that I played, but I had Frostlass instead of Muck. Because we kind of discussed it ahead of time, and we're thinking that Munchlax and Muck do similar roles.
Yeah.
Although if I had to choose it over again, I think I would choose Muck over Munchlax and choose a different commander.
Yeah, well, that was my thinking. I just thought, do I want? I mean, it's really good for pressuring out Hypno, having Munchlax and Muck there. But
yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, it's the best to Hypno counter for sure.
But the best way to take advantage of that is by running Toxicroak in your line of 3, which is still never feels comfortable, does it?
No, yeah, it makes it very RPS.
Yeah, and I just kind of thought, not for me. And I have no regrets about Empoleon. Empoleon's been an absolute monster. So, yeah, I mean, maybe if I had my time again, maybe I'd try a bit harder with a Scavalier, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think maybe if I did it over again, I would probably choose a Scavalier. But no Poliwrath for you?
Absolutely not. So yeah, game 1, lead the Raichu with Muck and Empoleon in the back. So this is sort of not great because I need to save the Raichu.
But you see that it's a Powder Snow.
Yeah, and this made me really, really happy because it's not quite as terrifying. But yeah, I had to switch the right. I think Raichu beats Powder Snow more than Ninetales, but I had to switch.
Although I will say this, that we just did a shoutcast of the person who won the Lille tournament, and he also Powder Snow Ninetales was his MVP. And watching him use it, that thing is a spam machine. So
yeah,
it's not so bad. I mean, you think that it would lose a lot harder to things, but with the energy advantage, that thing, you can only have so many shields.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'd be. I mean, I hate Charm. I say awful things about Charm, but yeah, I'd be Powder Snow all day. So I was a bit gutted that didn't kill it, to be honest. I was expecting that to kill. So that was a bit of a kick in the teeth.
Yeah, because now they can realign whatever they need. But again, now you know that it's Powder Snow, which obviously doesn't. Also, the Empoleon is not going to.
Yeah, so I think I choose to tank this, and I'm going all in on Empoleon here now. And then Hypno's in the back, and I'm thinking I should have this.
Yeah. It seems like it's not against your favor here. So tell me how you feel it up.
Well, exactly. So I'm just concentrating on throwing my charge moves at the right times, that sort of thing, at the minute. And I'm thinking the Raichu's close to a Thunder Punch. If I can try and switch to the Raichu and either throw a Thunder Punch or take a charge move on it, that's game. So I'm sort of expecting him to shield here. And he does. And then so I'll shield back.
Okay.
So again,
Oh,
all looks.
double baits you here.
Yeah, that was pretty.
I'd be wary of him. Like, is he running elemental punches?
And then I decided last minute to not throw.
Oh no!
But see, the thing is, that wasn't an overtap. Like I actively decided there not to throw the Thunder Punch because I wanted to deny a farm down with with Ninetales, just because I wasn't sure, like, if it got to a Psy Shock or a Dazzling Gleam, whether it would have finished the Empoleon off. And I needed to have a little bit of health to take on the Hypno.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad plan, I guess, but
yeah, I mean, yeah, it wasn't.
the Ninetales just had a little bit too much health for.
Yeah, I mean, I should have just Thunder Punched it. Really, I mean that's. And then, but even at this point, I'm still thinking I've got it, and then.
Oh, that hurts. That hurts.
Yeah. So. Yeah, that wasn't ideal. So this game, I'm going Empoleon, Toxicroak, and Raichu, and I'm quite cautious that I can't rely too much on Toxie or Raichu to take on the Ninetales. So I'm happy enough with this lead, but ideally, I want Toxie lined up against that though.
Right, but the thing is too, like we talked about earlier. I mean, not at this range, but the Munchlax can take a wild charge, so I wonder what he will choose to. He's still just farming.
Yeah, so I swapped to this. I'm thinking there's no way he's going to bulldoze straight away. Raichu squishy, a body slam. Now, this was the play that people questioned. He throws, he catches me, throws at a good time there. So I haven't forced the shield this time. I know I can squeeze in another Volt Switch. And then I get greedy and I try and squeeze to him. Yeah.
I think this is the problem with me using Raichu as well, is I just want to keep doing that as well. And then I just had too many on my team that needed 2 shields.
Yeah. And then another mistake, I go for Thunder Punch.
He's a thick boy.
He is. And it doesn't quite kill again. Yeah. And so, and I could have thrown Thunder Punch there as well, and I don't know why I didn't. I just cracked. Yeah, and had I one switch, I'd have been able to line.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and so, and this is what I meant. Like, switching the Raichu into the Munchlax felt questionable, but had I not been greedy, it would have worked out. I'd have got the alignment right.
Well, and also, I mean, like, you could have theoretically maybe tried to switch in your Toxicroak, but it's just not a safe swap in this cup with all the Hypnos running around. So even though he didn't bring it this game, the threat is always there.
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping he'd think, oh, that's weird, like, what's he doing? And then, like, maybe overthink it like I would and then switch out. So in the third game, I go Toxie Raichu Frostlass, and I'm just going, right, I'm going to take some shields somewhere. We'll go from there. So happy enough with this.
I like how everyone's Raichus in the cup, the regular Raichus, they're the special edition ones. Like, mine was a party hat, and this one is like the snow cap one.
Yeah. Well, it's boring, isn't it? Not having a hat near Raichu.
Just seeing all the different hats.
3 swaps. I think I go for the bait here. Got a shield, surely. Yeah.
Yeah, but staying in and shielding, yeah, I would also shield if I was him, thinking that.
Yeah, so again, I'm quite. Okay. The thing is, I've got no Empoleon, so I'm quite happy. I mean, I did think it was odd that he did swap to Ninetales, because I brought Empoleon both previous games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a brave call, but I mean, he's 2-0 up, isn't he? So, and perhaps be a bit more carefree at that point. So yeah, overcharge a little bit on the Raichu.
Surprise, surprise! You overcharging on the Raichu?
Yeah, that seems to be a bit of a theme. Fortunately, the Thunder Punch does kill it. And do I get to a wild charge? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Good swap on his part. But this is like we were talking about before, where you still have a Toxicroak
Yeah.
and the Frostlass. It's a nice. Oh man, I forgot you still had so much energy on the Toxicroak too.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get the shield here.
You know you're gonna get the shield, and you go straight for the Sludge Bomb.
Well, yeah, I suppose actually, yeah. But I wanted to make sure I did because that was my, as long as I landed a Sludge Bomb or a Avalanche, I was going to win this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even if he knocks it out with the Bulldoze, the counters will be able to knock it out at that point.
Yeah. So just able to farm down the.
And he's got a Bulldoze. I mean, he's not going to take you out with Bobby Snims. Yeah. So very, very well called on that last one.
Yeah, but I mean, I was gutted after that because I feel like I should have won that 3-0.
It's easy to look back though, and I mean, I did the same with a couple of mine where I was like, oh, like this should have been mine, but
like the first game, like, I knew immediately afterwards as well, like I should have won that game, and then I think that's probably why I tried too hard in the second game. I think. Yeah. Looking back on that second game now, like I think I made the right play swapping DHO in, but I mean,
just the overfarm was maybe.
Yeah, it was the overfarm. If I'd have gone for the wild charge straight away, I wouldn't have needed to shield.
That was a difficult call, because you needed to grab the shields, but at the same point, just being a little bit healthier, that bulk was the thing that eventually ended up being the demise.
Yeah, and I'd have been even shields. I'd have one switch advantage, and then Empoleon lines up versus Ninetales, and then Raichu takes on Toxicroak. So, I mean, I don't know, but anyway, yeah, I feel like I could have won. Let's put it that way.
And now you have a little bit of pressure again because you want to go positive, obviously. And you've gone positive in all the other showdowns, and now we're into round 7, and this is for all the potatoes here. Yeah,
and I was a bit gutted actually as well because Holmesy is he's a new player to season 3. He's one of so he lives in Sheffield, the same city as me. He plays on the UK Gym Breakers team, same as me. We're in the same faction. Yeah. So I was sorry,
buddy, but I gotta crush you.
Well, yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's a very, very good player. So I wasn't confident going into it, but I was just a bit gutted because one of us had to go negative now, and
was he the same? He was also 3-3.
Yeah, and speaking to him afterwards, and he was like, this was his first showdown as well, and getting paired up against me, which he gets paired. We got paired up in gym. We played earlier today, actually, as it happens, as we're recording this. Like we get paired up with each other semi-regularly. Like it would have been nice for both of us to be paired up versus some big week who we wouldn't normally have a chance to play.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Did you win today, or did he win today?
I won today.
Okay.
But do you know what? I was due a couple of wins versus him. He's beat me the past few times before this. But this is the sort of team where I like Trigalgi versus, where it's got the Raichu, the Roserade, and the Muck, where Trigalgi can comfortably take those on. Particularly Raichu and Roserade, where they hit so ridiculously hard. Having something that doesn't need to shield is really valuable. Yeah.
And especially like we were talking about, a lot of people don't know it. Although maybe since he's your mate, that he kind of knows it a little bit more, the matchup. I wouldn't know what to throw at it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't know that myself either. But whether he looked it or not, we spoke afterwards, and he was a bit unsure. But I don't know. I thought between the Hypno, the Dugong, and the Escavalier, I don't really want to bring it game 1.
Mm-hmm.
And Toxicroak looks good here as long as I don't.
Yeah, the only thing that really needs to avoid is the Hypno, but so.
Yeah, so I go with the ballsy line that needs about 1 billion shields to begin
Yeah.
with.
But also the line with the safe swaps that are really good with some extra energy. So
Yeah, and I really like Frostlass here because it's neutral versus Raichu. It can take on Muck with a bit of energy. It walls Dugong pretty much. Like, I really like Frostlass here. So yeah, let's hit play. So again, fairly okay with this because I know I can 2 shields farm him down. So I imagine that's probably what I'll try and do.
That's the plan when you see Raichu's in the lead?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know what else I'd do.
Yeah. I only ask because your backmons are both also squishy, you know. So
yeah. This was a bit of a mistake, like letting it get to the weather ball.
yeah, it's okay.
Now I was tied at this point, and I thought weather ball's not going to kill. I can tank a weather ball. Yeah.
Oh, that's fun to see.
Yeah. And then, so
you have to shield this too, I'm pretty sure, right?
I mean, you'd think so, wouldn't you?
Oh, jeez. Okay, that's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I wish since he's so squishy.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's disappointing because you were at an avalanche too, so at least could have drawn a shield, but
no. Well, the plan was
to storm. What a beast!
Yeah, I mean the plan was to tank the weather ball and farm down. Obviously, didn't go to plan. I'm able to use that energy on Toxie, but he comes in with the Hypno before I can land the second one on the Raichu.
Yeah, and that's a bummer because the Raichu definitely can do a wild charge, but the confusions are going to keep it chunking it down.
Yeah, for sure. So
are you going to bait and then go for a wild charge, or what's the?
Oh, I like going straight wild. I'm a straight wild charge. Yeah, whenever I can click that button, I click that button. That's yeah.
Yeah, well, to be fair, didn't expect it. Oh, but he was already at a move too.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I have to admit match was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. Watching him just completely take out one of your Pokemon.
Yeah, for sure. But I bring Dragalge this time. Like it's been using Raichu. You told me about Raichu and Roserade. Let's have Dragalge in there.
I'm really interested to see how he put. Okay, so. Well, my opponent did that earlier today too, that they were matched up with a Frostlass to a Roserade and they immediately dipped out. But I mean, I think that the Weather Ball is just as threatening. So.
Yeah. I mean, it was a tough play out. I mean, the Hypno swap is bold, but I suppose I didn't use Muck game 1, so perhaps hedging his bets a bit that I wasn't going to use it this game as well. I wanted to keep the Muck healthy, so I didn't go for the farm down. Because I'm thinking I can now maybe get to a second charge move if he brings Roserade back in. Before he gets to the weather ball, which I do, so that's nice. And I'm thinking...
Storm, leave!
I'm thinking if he's got Raichu in the back, I'm quizzing with Dragalge here. Like this is what Dragalge.
Yeah, I mean that's a pretty hard wall.
Yeah, let's have a look. So I'm like, no, I don't need to shield this. I double resist the Leaf Storm. I resist the Weather Ball. We'll tank that. I'll just go for the farm down.
He built up quite a bit of energy, but yeah, you can definitely take. Looks like 2.
Yeah.
2 more.
Yeah, and at this point, I'm thinking probably best shield this. You don't want to get caught out and look like
that Leaf Storm again with all that energy. Yep. Okay. Good idea.
Yeah. And then he said to me afterwards, he goes, I thought that was taking ages to charge up, and then you dropped 2 outrages on me. So yeah, that's what it does. So yeah, managed to drop the outrages. So I was happy with that.
I gotta evolve one of these beasts.
It's a monster. It's an absolute monster. And so in the third game, I don't bring it because I expect him to like over adjust for it.
Yeah, exactly. You're expecting ice and yep.
Yeah.
Okay, this is not great for you. So
I'm going to go straight for the safe swap though because I've got the Toxie in the back as well. As I say, I like a game 3 Toxie. I've not brought it this first couple of games, so
maybe he'll switch out the Hypno.
Yeah, that's the plan.
All right. So seemingly everyone's got a shield their Raichu, so it's going to get a shield here.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll let this through. I'm sure I can tank the Thunder Punch. Like, was happy enough with that. I was using Frostlass back in Twilight Cup. Been using it for 2 years. Like I know.
Yeah, I love Frost. Yeah, any chance that I can in the cup, I'm going to use Frostlass.
Yeah.
So this is risky though, because if they do have a Hypno in the back.
Oh yeah, absolutely, it's risky. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna commit to the Toxicroak. Surely I shield that. Yeah.
Oh, and it's but this is also difficult because okay. I was gonna say the Scavalier takes out the Toxicroak with the Drill Run, although it just did it onto the Frostlass, so it's fairly energy dry. You're gonna hit the Mud Bomb first, but
yeah.
Oh man, I would be kicking myself if I was Holmesy that I didn't bring the Hypno.
Yeah, it's never a nice feeling.
I mean, you played really good mind games with it. I mean, you really brought some different ones each time, and it also shows that you can come back from a bad lead.
Yeah, well, the grit score is strong. And then I'm just able to get to the Dark Pulse to
yeah, but he's still got a Pokemon left, so but just enough to sacrifice.
Slithers. Oh yeah.
Oh wow! Still really close.
About as close as like the opposite way to my game of Darunja. Yeah, just mad close games. Like I just think realistically, forget the first 2 rounds. I'll put them somewhere so people can see them. But like I just thought they were 5 really good games.
Yeah, I watching these matchups. I mean, there was good reads from you, and also there was just some really nice plays all around.
Yeah, the opponents all played well. Managed to catch a few people out with the unexpected wild charges.
And just the unexpected Dragalga. What is this called again?
Do you know what? I started calling it Dragalge to begin with, but then
kind of like algae. Like I mean, that makes sense. It looks like it's kind of like a piece of seaweed.
Yeah, well, I've switched. Yeah, I've switched to Dragalge because of that.
Okay.
I've been told that's wrong, so I don't know. Either way, I didn't use it a great deal actually in this, but when I used it, it was important.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's always nice. I used it a lot in London's Finest actually, rounds 1 to 3, before I ended up playing the world number 6 and the world number 5. After that, in the first 1 to 3, in the first 3 rounds, it decimated people. It was wonderful. No, just chuffed, as you say. Ended up going positive. Didn't. So I've done the 3 showdowns. I missed Prismatic because I was on the casting team, but I kind of, I hated Prismatic, but so I was kind of.
Commander is my least favorite cup so far of this season, and of course it's the cup that I had to play the showdown in. But I really liked Prismatic, and I even looked at the list and I was like, oh, because I played with what we talked about on your show that I don't know if we can say the words, but
you can say the words.
The Litleo XL, I used it on one of my teams, and I would have been the only person, so my spice index would have gone way up.
Through the roof. Yeah, no, you know, I kind of regret not. I mean, I was looking for an excuse not to play in that showdown. And so when
That's
they
a good
asked,
one.
yeah.
I guess I'll shoutcast.
I mean, well, initially they asked if they could follow my run on the stream, and I was like, I don't know that I want to play it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, oh, do you wanna stream it? I was like, yes, please, and that was it. But now looking back at it, having been positive in the other three, I kind of regret not playing it a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it's at least good for the experience, but I mean, that's the way that I'm looking at it. I didn't go positive at all, but I still had some really, really good competitive matches, and I played a lot of people higher up than me, and that's how you get better, obviously. I mean, if you're playing people who, you know, aren't quite at the same caliber as you are, you're not going to improve. You're not going to realize what you could have done differently, or how you could be, you know, upping your game. So it's at least keeping me on my toes, and I'm ready to crush the next.
Yeah, exactly. And I really hope they bring, like, if we, especially if we are remote in season 4, I really hope they bring them back, because, like, well, first of all, like, it's a lot of hype, isn't it, about the showdown?
Yeah.
And
I think that that would be a good thing for them to continue, but obviously, I mean, I know that they're super busy and it's all volunteer stuff, so
yeah, it's a lot of work. But, yeah, and I've never made it to. I've never won a regionals. I fell 1 win short in the continental in the qualifier. I went 6-1 in the qualifier.
oh, that's so rough. That's a
Yeah.
pretty good qualifier.
The one month I was like in the second half of the season where I was outside of the top 100 in the world last season. It was when they did the global cutoff as well. So like I've never. In season 1, I lost the decider on IVs in the final. So I've never made it.
Oh,
Never made it to continental. So maybe this is my year. Maybe not. I don't know. But yeah. So for someone like it's been great for me to be able to play against the best in the world, one way or another.
well, maybe we can have you on our channel next month when we can talk about your regionals run.
Potentially. But as I said, I don't win regionals. So I don't know. What do your show runs that aren't sweeps?
We show them, we just don't like them as much.
All right, fair.
I'm doing mine in the US because I'll be in the US this summer, and I was looking at doing it in Belgium, but the time zones are just a little bit off. And I don't want to be playing until like late into the night when I can actually be playing at a more reasonable hour. And there's like a Midwest one, so I'm going to be playing in the Midwest.
Fair. Right. Well, let's leave it there.
Okay. Thanks for having me on. This was a lot of fun.
No, it's been good. I do like the dual commentaries. I feel like it stops me from just going on and on, and I'm less grumpy.
When you're commentating with someone, I get it. I'm the same way.
Yeah, excellent. Well, thank you so much, and yeah, hopefully I've got a successful regionals video to share with you. But fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Right. See
All right.
you later.
Talk to you later, man.
Bye.
Bye.